The Southeast Development Commission (SEDC) convened a high-level regional stakeholder engagement with the organized private sector on Thursday, the 20th of March 2025 at the Conference Hall, Old Government Lodge, GRA, Enugu. The meeting brought together key industry players including the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, and the National Association of Small and Medium-Scale Enterprises, Southeast Chapters. With a bold vision to establish Southeast as Africa's leading investment destination by 2030, SEDC reaffirmed its mission to drive sustainable development, economic growth, and regional unity through strategic investment and empowerment initiatives. The Executive Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Ndubisi Mba, represented by Honorable Adora Chukwu, Commissioner for Trade, Investment and Industry, delivered the governor's speech. He emphasized that the forum aims to shape strategic pathways for the economic advancement of the Southeast.
With a total land area of over 30,000 square kilometers, abundant natural resources, aggregate GDP of about $33 billion, and population size of over 22 million people, the Southeastern region holds significant growth potential across different verticals, including agriculture, commerce, tourism, creative economy, services, and manufacturing. However, this notwithstanding, the region has suffered setbacks due to numerous challenges that have impacted growth over the years. Insecurity, ecological issues, poor road networks, moribund rails, lack of functional international cargo airports, and inland ports pose major constraints to trade and business competitiveness in the region. Today, I wish to share with you how the initiatives launched by the state government are already laying the foundation for transforming the business landscape in Enugu State, and how SEDC will serve as essential linkage between the public aspirations and private ingenuity. Over the past 2 years, Enugu State government, under the thoughtful leadership of His Excellency Dr. Peter Ndubisi Mba, has invested heavily in infrastructure. Infrastructural projects such as the massive road projects, the International Conference Center, the transport infrastructure projects, the aviation projects, which will entail completing the international airports, launching our airline, and also building a cargo terminal, revitalizing moribund industries, the tourism and hospitality projects, the smart school program, and healthcare projects, to mention a few, have not only attracted domestic and international investors, but have significantly demonstrated the state's capacity to support businesses. Driven by the governor's visionary leadership, these achievements underscore the critical need for integrated regional development and set the stage for state-level progress to be expanded and harmonized across the entire Southeast region through the strategic framework of the Commission. It is in this dynamic environment of progressive state-led reforms that the mandate of SEDC becomes truly transformative. By fostering an integrated framework for regional development, the Commission is uniquely positioned to bridge gaps between the subnational states in the region and the private sector players. The strategic roadmap of SEDC, crafted with a deep understanding of our region's unique challenges and opportunities, aims to facilitate the flow of investments, technical expertise, and best practice across state boundaries. This approach is not merely about infrastructural development, it's about building a resilient ecosystem where public initiatives and private enterprises mutually reinforce each other. The role of the private sector in this journey cannot be overstated. Your entrepreneurial spirit, innovative drive, and dedication are the engines that power economic growth. Your feedback and active participation today are indispensable. It is through robust public-private collaboration that we can identify gaps, develop pragmatic solutions, and create an environment where every stakeholder, whether it's small business, or multinational investor can thrive. In closing, it is imperative to reiterate that the success of our regional development hinges on a shared vision and collective action. Today's session is a call to each of you to deepen your engagements, share your insights, and collaborate closely with the Commission and the respective key stakeholders. Together, we have the opportunity and the responsibility to build a prosperous and resilient Southeast that will serve as a model for integrated regional development across Nigeria. On this note, I declare the session open, and I wish you all a fruitful deliberation. Thank you all.
In his keynote presentation, SEDC Managing Director Mr. Mark Okoye outlined the Commission's strategic roadmap detailing key initiatives within the first 37 days of its inauguration. These includes Southeast Security Interventions Programs, Southeast Regional Economic and Industry Programs, Southeast Investment Corporation, Southeast Agro-Mechanization Program. Okoye highlighted how these projects will drive economic growth, create employment opportunities, and strengthen regional security.
So for us, we say our vision for the SEDC, our shared vision, is to position the Southeast as a preferred investment destination by 2030. And we choose investment destination, we choose investment because investment coins quite a lot of things. For you to have a preferred investment destination, the human capital must be in place, the enabling infrastructure must be in place, the ease of doing business, the investment climate must be strong, and the right policies and laws must also be in place. So we feel like the coins captures everything we want to achieve. And most importantly, the enterprising nature of the Igbo man and woman, we feel that if by presenting this vision, it encapsulates all the aspirations of the average young man or woman in the Southeast. Then we have our mission, but I think what's important on this slide is our strategic objectives. The first for us is to collaborate closely with the state governments and to achieve a $200 billion economy. And today we are roughly about $35 to $40 billion for the whole region, but we think that in 10 years we can achieve the $200 billion economy, working with the state governments and other critical stakeholders to leverage growth from key sectors: agriculture, industrialization, creative economy, tourism, and also technology. Number two is to pursue and develop high-impact infrastructure projects that, in our view, will be transformational to our economy. So projects such as the regional rail line, ensuring that we have connectivity to ports, and also potentially developing our own river ports, exploring and finding ways for us to be self-sufficient of power generation and distribution in the region. All of these projects, we want to identify them, but also take them systematically from conceptualization all the way to getting them bankable. Number three is to enhance ease of doing business by improving infrastructure, providing regulatory support, and access to finance, making the region a preferred destination for investment. While number four is to foster partnership among Southeast state governments to harmonize policies, pool resources, and advance shared goals. For example, there's some amazing impactful policies that the Enugu state government is implementing. Perhaps maybe in the tourism sector, perhaps in the education sector. We can be that independent. We want to be that independent body that says we've done an assessment of this policy, and then we can share it with all the other state governments in the region and say, hey, can we all come to the Enugu for the weekend, have a small retreat, let's do a presentation, some peer learning on what Enugu is doing, how can we replicate it in our own states.
During the stakeholders' contributions, Lady Ada Chukwudozie, chairman of Keystone Bank Board of Directors, advocated for prioritizing a gas pipeline project over the currently favored regional railway, arguing that gas infrastructure would significantly boost industrial development.
So, while Mark was going through his presentation, I was very impressed. Very well articulated, almost he has done all that is required. He's ready to move. But I was taken aback on the next slide, please. I was taken aback when I looked at, I think from the pool of public opinion, that regional railway was rated higher than gas pipeline. Yes. That touched my heart as a manufacturer, because I know that, yes, we all know the pains that we have suffered here in the southeastern region. Of course, we can't do development without industrialization. And if you are talking industrialization, you are saying you want to transform the economy from an agrarian, from that is mechanized. And so, if you want to really mechanize and go into industrialization, which is actually the one driving all the other sectors, because at the end, it supports and contributes immensely to the GDP. So if you are thinking industrialization, gas pipeline should not be second. It should be number one. Now, I want us to look at the various sectors and why, when you look at the various sectors, the primary sector in particular, I think that this commission is looking for a way to be independent and be making money. And the lowest hanging fruit is a concentrated focus on the primary sector. And why I say that is because when you look at the primary sector, you have the farming aspect of the agriculture, then you have mining, and then you have the others.
Mrs. Ijoma Ezaso, Director, Consultant, and Director, Afia TV, added that education should not be left out in SEDC, as it is a key factor for any form of development. She also advocates for Nollywood to be brought to Enugu, stating that it is an instrument for development that will create more job opportunities.
We talked about the Southeast Agro-Organization Program. It says the agriculture we're only talking about is crop. Young crop. We should also think about livestock. Southeast needs to integrate livestock, and UN government and also new states the Southeast made during the consultation for the livestock infrastructure plan under NACCIMA. The Southeast viewed livestock as it was started. So under this, and we were never much part of it. I know for consultations that we went to, the Southeast government, they are obviously not interested in what was going on there. And there were so many governments like Brazil who wanted to part of it, but the Southeast was missing. The reason why I'm saying this as part of my research, the livestock also provides a lot of raw materials we use in the leather value chain. We have to talk about that cattle. So there is a need for that to capture. We talked about the Southeast grassroots recreation infrastructure development. I want to also add that beyond the employment part of it, I think we should also get governors as part of what will help with the security and also for them to support that. On the creative economy part of it, I think also that beyond just the talent, issue of the talent thing, I think there's a need to go beyond what you have now. But we have a consultation with the creative industry. Southeast will be staged, and if I didn't better part of Nollywood, we lost it to Asaka. And part of the work, what the Southeast Economic Development Commission should also talk about is how we get back that Nollywood back to Southeast because of the kind of work we do. Thank you very much.
Dr. Cliff Obwede, Executive Director of National Resources, Agriculture and Rural Development, pledged support for farmers, emphasizing partnership to enhance agricultural productivity.
The FD has already summarized everything. I don't know after any time in next presentation, I don't know what else will be better than him. But being the Executive Director in charge of Agriculture, Natural Resources and Rural Development, he has given me the ball again, thinking maybe I was smaller than him, but I don't think I will. He has elaborated already the programs we have in agriculture, just as the UNDP man has said. What we are doing is an integrated program where every state will have an equal share of what we are going to do to support what the governments are doing. Yes, we are coming from Abuja, representing the federal government. Just as we keep mentioning, this is a commission that has been, we have been waiting for this for the past 54 to 55 years. And it's an opportunity now for us to have a feel of federal presence. So what we're going to do is to make sure we align our program in line with the renewal agenda of Mr. President, and also consult with the stakeholders. The commissioners of agriculture, we are going to have engagement with them, and also those who are as critical stakeholders in agriculture, especially those in the tertiary institutions, the College of Agriculture, and also some of you, especially the one from the Poultry Association, who want to sit down with you again, critically to look at the challenges we are having in agriculture. What can we do in the region to support the initiative?
Senator Anthony Abu, Executive Director of Commercial and Industrial Development, urged stakeholders to submit innovative proposals for evaluation and implementation.
So I will want to advise that as institutions and organizations, you can also, after this forum, go back in your meetings and articulate ideas which you feel that will work well for our region, that will prosper the economy of our people and advance our development, and articulate them as a position paper and send to Southeast Development Commission. In addition to the individual opinions you have expressed here, as bodies, as organizations, try and put together ideas you feel that can help the Southeast and send forth to us. And we are going to take them very seriously. Then, over the presentations that have been made, our people have already spoken in their public opinion. And their opinion also goes in line with ideas we already have in this commission, which also is in line with what we have gotten from our governors in the talk we made across the 5 states of the Southeast. Each of the governors told us that we have to concentrate on signature projects, and every one of them tried to emphasize on gas and integrated railway for the Southeast. The opinion of our people, their public opinion also went into that. And in our own meetings, that is also the direction we were looking at. Because it may not be good for us to dissipate energy and resources on a whole variety of little activities. We must try at things that we connect the economic heartbeat of our people, like the gas pipeline we are talking about and integrated railway. And this is the direction we are going to be advancing ourselves to majorly, while we are also going to look into other areas that have been mentioned there and all the issues that have been mentioned here, particularly security. So we should thank you for answering us, and we want to pray you to also be ready to answer us any other time we say these questions to you. But we are available to you, as they have said. It's not easy. Governors are too busy people with a lot of things, burdens on their shoulders. So having easy access to them is not always easy. But ourselves, we are available every other day. And you can access us and bring up your ideas to us. Thank you so much. Thank you, MP. Thank you.
Honorable Toby Okechukwu, former Deputy Minority Leader and current Executive Director for Projects, underscored the importance of prioritization before execution, advocating for national and international partnership to accelerate development.
My name is Toby Okechukwu. I'm Executive Director of Projects at the Development Commission. I was discussing on the need for us to have development in our region. And development comes with de-risking certain issues, ensuring that our people can operate in an enabling environment here. First, we have to ensure security. We have to complement and collaborate with the governors to make sure the environment is healthy for people to come and do business. Then, without that, you can't do anything. Where there is insecurity, you can't have any project developed. Even when you develop the project, people will not come to invest. So we have come to consult with manufacturers and people who are in business to see what their thoughts are. What are they thinking about making sure that our people invest at home? We also attract other people to invest in Southeast. Most of our people invest in other jurisdictions, in other, especially overseas, because those places are clement for investment. So we must make sure that our own, both in infrastructure, in security, and having the necessary impetus, to do business. You can do it at home. Other people can also come and do it. Well, whether they are abandoned or not, we need to have knowledge about who are the owners. We need to articulate it. If it's owned by the state government, we see how we can work with them. If there are free trade zones in other places, if you go to Ogun State, you see what they are doing with free trade zones, complementing the presence of Lagos. So what is the status of free trade zones in our own area? Is it infrastructure problem? Is it security problem? You need to identify. So you must operate with knowledge. If you don't have knowledge of what is happening to them, you won't be able to do much. Is it creating or applying for new ones? But the first thing is to know, where do I really stand in this issue? Where are the assets that belong to other people or belong to state government? How can we work to them to make them enabling for investment? How can we attract investors to come and set up their factories here? And it doesn't work when I set up my own factory in my village. Another person goes to set up his factory in his own village. The next place you see a church beside it. The next one you see a native doctor living there or a shrine. The next one you see other things that don't work in synergy with it. Nobody will come and invest there, and the cost of running it is very expensive. But if you have industry clustered together, you can draw energy, you can draw facilities, you can make sure that, look, this is a community of its own that will work well. But when you have them spread out and all, you spread yourself thin. Then you do the 3 kVA to this point, you do another the 3 kVA in another place for just one factory. So the beauty of having it together is the idea that you can just do one infrastructure to the place and it's a one-stop shop for investment. The first wave of Igbo migration from businesses migration or industry migration was when you started hearing all things about Tokoto and all that. And you are wondering what is happening to you. Why should a young man leave here to go and look for a job in other places, including economic migration to overseas? It's because there isn't any opportunity for investment here. And nobody can invest in a place where there's no security. And people, we are hurting personally, and you think we are trying to deal with any other. Nobody will talk to you. So the earlier we have a rethink, have a mindset that we are not victims, that our future is in our hands, the better for everybody. So whether you like it or not, it is self-immolation for you to begin to think that by being disruptive, it will help. No. What we are looking at, what can we do to make sure there is an opportunity for other people to come? If this economy belongs to Igbo people, we have not succeeded. until we bring people, expatriates, we bring people from the southwest, from the north, for them to come and invest here. That's the only time we've succeeded. We succeed. So economy is people. I would rather sell coke to 1 million people than to 1,000 people. You understand me? That's my own take.
Sylvester Okeke, Executive Director of Corporate Services, called on stakeholders to actively engage with SEDC, emphasizing its legal backing to drive transformation in the region.
If all of us wake up and own this project, a creation of the federal government of Nigeria. I heard one of us say that, politicians, the president can wake up and say it is over. No, this is a creation of the parliament. It has never existed in Nigeria before. It's a creation of law. And like we have said here too, we can through various creations of this agency we have, like Southeast Investment Corporation, Southeast Venture Capital, create an entity that will be legally protective of the intent of this body. And that means that if you create a Southeast Development Commission, investment corporation, which will be a creation of the law, and which can sue and be sued, it means they can go into contracts, and that contract will be defended in law. So we have everything that we need as a region to move into our own development. And the mindset we have talked about is for us, as we have attended this meeting, to go back and start talking to our brothers and sisters and say something new has happened. And in that word that the Bob Marley talked about, set the captive free. And the captive has been set free. What it means is go and sort your problems out. Stop looking at Nigeria to be, because there's nobody called Nigeria. It is you and I that are Nigerians. So in the course of our discussion here, a couple of persons have talked about things. Madam came up and gave an elucidation of what can catalyze development coming from gas infrastructure. Because she's a manufacturer, because she's in that industry, she knows how important it is. We have also taken that as a very important position. I will urge all of us, as we are all giving out wonderful, wonderful thoughts, you know that we just said it here. Can we all put it out? That is why SEDC has put out information at sedc.gov.ng. Roll it out into a soft document and send it to SEDC so that we can start picking out things that are no more repetitive. Because we have had long nights and days rolling out, thinking about the things we want to do. But if you send it out here now, we'll now pick out the things we have not covered and be able to be very strategic. The mindset issue is so important that our people must wake up and know that this is a new dawn and this is a new opportunity for all of us.
Speaking to Ogama TV, Honorable Adora Chukwu expressed optimism about the collaboration between the government and private sector, describing it as a new era of investment and development for the Southeast.
My name is Adora Chukwu, the Commissioner for Trade, Investment and Industry, Enugu State. I'm here representing the Governor, Dr. Peter Ndubisimba. I'm here in a representative capacity. And that also shows the spirit of collaboration and the spirit of partnership to achieve the success of SEDC. You know, the Commission is here as a bridge builder, in as much as the state governments are doing a lot to advance the economic development and growth in their various states. But regionally, to achieve that growth, it's very important that we have the SEDC, the Commission, to advance that at the regional level.
Meanwhile, Okoye reaffirmed his commitment to bringing prosperity to the region through SEDC-led initiatives.
First of all, I think for us, the private sector is the most critical aspect of the Southeast economy. Like I always say, with a total population of maybe about 25 million people, and in between that you have half of that as its working population. When you're looking at anywhere between 8 to 10 million jobs in the region, and that is predominantly driven by the private sector. Just about maybe 150 to 160,000 of those account for public sector jobs. So our governors are very critical stakeholders because on the policy side and our state actors, we need them to succeed. But on the intervention side and also the policy side to jumpstart our economy and build the $200 billion economy we want in 10 years, the private sector plays a very, very critical role. From our inauguration, if you recall the inaugural speech we put out, we did say that there will be a consultation commencing with the governors, and after that we'll focus with the private sector. Why? Because we want to understand, let them know that we're here for them, we're here to work closely with them, but also as we make interventions that impact on their sector and on their businesses across different sectors, we also want to understand their firm, get their firm commitments on job creation, get their firm commitments on investments. Will this be the first of many? Of course, it will be the first of many. In my past, as many of you may know, I've worked very closely with the private sector from my days at the investment agency in Anambra to even working closely with them when we were at the Economic Planning Ministry. But for now, we've agreed, I believe, that we'll try to hold these meetings quarterly. And we're actually going to be expanding it. What we have here is the leadership of the organized private sector. We think that there's also a role for the state commissioners of trade and investment and representation from states on the policy side and government side to also be there. And we also want to bring in members of the private sector who are from the region but are investing in other parts of the country and bring them. So why shouldn't the Koschaisis, the orange drugs, the Chickassins, the Obi Jacksons of this world, they should also form part of this platform. And what we want to do is to work closely with them, hear their issues, see how we can solve some of their challenges, but also channel our interventions to the places where it's most critical as identified by them, to see how we can bring prosperity to the region.
As the Commission sets its sights on large-scale investments, stakeholders and investors are encouraged to engage with SEDC through info@sedc.government.ng.
When you think of online TV and radio, broadcasting, media consultancy, event coverage, event management and planning, there's no better name than Ogama TV. But that's not all. We're also into photo studio and coverage, equipment rental, news blogging, fashion and pageantry. We are at number 5/21 Chime Avenue, beside Open Sheraton Restaurant, New Haven, Enugu. Follow us on our social media handles: Facebook at Ogama TV, Instagram at Ogama TV1, Twitter at Ogama TV, website www.ogamatv.com. You can also send us email at ogamatv@gmail.com. Ogama TV, your one-stop media solution.